Hello StarCraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Bishop and Womec on Orbital Shipyard. In the top side of the map we have the red Terran player, it is Womec. And in the bottom side of the map we have the blue Protoss player, it is Bishop. Both these players representing organizations I do not recognize, but this is a master level TVP. And let's get right on into it. So Terran versus Protoss usually comes down to whether Protoss uses Storm or Colossus, and most Terrans use Liberators against Protoss, which necessitates that Protoss will go Tempest because they are very useful for sniping Liberators from long range. But that's a ways off, so let's see what's going on in the early game. Opening up one racks here with no gas, so not a Reaper opener here from Womec. Although it could be a one racks expand, or it could just be a one baser. But if it was a one baser, I feel like there'd be gas. Yeah, here we go. One racks expand on the way from the Terran player, and from Protoss, we have a one gateway into a simulator. Likely could also go for a Nexus here. I like the scouting SCV. I always love this from players. Always scout in your games, especially at the lower levels. If you know what your opponent is doing, it's so much easier to stop them. You can't always stop them just because their macro might be better or their micro might be better, but it feels so much better than just getting rolled because you didn't see your opponent was going mutas, or you didn't see the Dark Shrine or things like that. Probe's trying to scout on his own side of things, but this is a full wall. Nicely done by Womec denying that scout. Right now, the Protoss player has no idea what's coming out from the Terran. It could be a one-base play for all he knows. Absolutely could be a one-baser. Command Center coming up instead, though, so that, I mean, the probe can get up here and see nothing, basically. There's a Marine coming out. He's actually set to go into the ramp to try to deal with this. Probe is actually running away. Second assimilator on the way. Cybernetics core. I have to imagine it's going to be an adept opening. Just seems the safest way to go for Protoss against Terran players. It's good against Reapers, it's good against Marines, and when you're playing blind, it's good to have an option that is good against several different things that can come from the Protoss. So here's that Cybernetics core, and the gateway is ready to build something. Ready, set, go. There it is. There's the adept. All right, so one adept coming out of this, one gateway. I think we're going to see some more gateways here as well. Warp gate research coming out of the cyber core. And what's the second building here? Is that another barracks? No. Okay, so swapped out the barracks for a bunker to complete the wall off. So now our Protoss player really has no idea what's going on. Seeing a bunker is not useful at all. He doesn't know if there's a factory. He doesn't know what else is happening inside the Terran base. So right now, I think, there we go. There's the robotics facility. If I was Bishop, I was going to say I'd go for an observer just to head on out and see what's going on from Womec. Because, again, playing blind is just such a bad feeling. Such a bad feeling. Factory on the way there. So going for the 1-1-1 with bunker with command center built in. So not exactly a Destiny Cloud Fist, but close enough for the purposes of the term, I think. Destiny Cloud Fist Strike, as we've taken to calling it here on the Falcon Paladin channel. Yep, there's that another gateway coming up for additional production from the gateways. I'd like to see more adepts possibly here. Protoss player spending his money fairly well. There we go. Second gateway there to accommodate the third one. So a 3-gate with a robotics facility and expansion here. Usually something could turn into an immortal play in this particular setup, or it could be disruptors. If we go to robotics bay here soon enough, it definitely could just be an early disruptor rush. And nope, actually going for the Twilight Council. So possibly Blink, possibly just the upgrade for the adepts to increase their attack speed by like 40%, which is always awesome. Using Psionic Transfer to come up here and see what's going on, but once again, blocked. Those shades cannot get through buildings. They can phase through units, so if there was a Marine holding this line, it could get through him, no problem. But as it stands, once again, no way of knowing what is happening. Oh, I like this missile turret placement, because he knows the Protoss player will come in with an observer and try to scout things out, and likely just try to fly right through the middle of the base. That's the best place to go if you're trying to figure out what's going on. But instead, there's a missile turret here. Some Widow Mines too. Oh man, Widow Mines in range of the missile turret seems awesome. And another one there too. Womec might be worried about Oracle play, but no Stargate in sight whatsoever. Was that indeed an observer? Did he? Oh, there it is. Yep, there's an observer. Get out there, observer. Get there doing stuff. There we go. Running around, maybe looking for Widow Mines that are burrowed in this mineral line, but unfortunately for him, there's not anything there. I feel like the Protoss would know about that, if that was the case. Was that an SCV? Yep, see that drill rolling down there. Adept take down the SCV. This observer scattered it out, no problem at all. And what's the play going to be here from Womec? He's got Widow Mines up. He's playing very defensively here in this early game. Wow, Widow Mines on all 4 corners of his bases. He is worried about Warp Prism drops. He's worried about Oracles or possibly Phoenix. He has Marines coming up too. Continuing to produce units, getting tanks, getting another factory here. Is he going for, yeah, more of a mech play? Coming out of Womec today, 61 out of 62 supply. He really should be making some supply depots, and he does have one on the way, and an armory coming up too. And there goes that third command center. So both players pretty much keeping up economically right now. The income tab, 42 to 41 workers. A lot more gas coming in from Womec, just because he has the 2 refineries that are not matched by Bishop yet. Just now coming in the 3rd and 4th one. Both players, man, worried about drops. There's cannons coming up in mineral lines, which again I've talked about as being good. You don't see this a whole lot in pro level plays, and there are some reasons for doing so. But both players are super worried about drops, and nobody's really going for drops. There's not even a starport here for Womec. There is no Stargate from Bishop. There is a robotics facility, so we could see some warp prisms, but as it stands, the units tab says no warp prisms at all from this player. Observer sneaking around. Hasn't actually gone in close enough to get killed by that missile turret. Has taken some damage. Are the Marines actually chasing this observer around? No, I think they're just scouting out, looking for proxy pylons. Nothing to worry about there, boys. No proxy pylons today. So a stalker count, adept count looking fairly good. I like the immortal play here. There's that resonating glaives upgrade that does increase the attack speed of adepts by 45%, as well as +1 ground weapons. Drilling claws coming up for Womec, increasing the speed of burrowing from Widow Mines. Siege tanks, Widow Mines, so it's going to be more of a mech play, a mech versus Protoss play. Haven't seen this on the channel, I want to say ever, but possibly just in a really long time. I've been casting for about a year. Usually mech was reserved for Zerg. Back in Heart of the Swarm, we've seen it fairly recently against Zerg here in Legacy of the Void, but not against Protoss. So we'll see if Womec can make this work. It's basically a Widowmine tank play, which is one of the more interesting strategies I've seen. I guess the Widow Mines are going to be for any air, because these tanks cannot shoot up, and the Marine count is abysmally low. There are only 5 Marines, and here comes the push with some SCVs, with the Observer hanging out. Did scout that out. Now the question is, was Bishop paying attention? It looks like he might have been. Here come the Stalkers, here come the Immortals and the Adepts. Tank's doing pretty well against everything here but the Immortal, I'd say. Burrow, Widow Mines, burrow. Oh, 1 dies, 2 dies, 3 dies, and Widow Mine shots. No, dodges out of there in time. Bishop, nice dodge, sniping off 3 Widow Mines and not taking any damage whatsoever. The Protoss player handling that exceptionally well. Tanks setting on up. Observer just scouting out exactly what is sitting outside the front door of the Protoss base. He wants to know what's going on, and can't necessarily blame him for that. The Marines trying to come out, do some scouting. Adepts right on top of the tanks. Are they going to go ahead and finish that psionic transfer? I don't know if that's a good idea. They do! And Widowmine shots! Oh, man, killing the Adepts, but also a couple of the tanks there. So tank splash now coming up. The Blink Stalkers, though, blinking forward. Goodbye, tank number 1. And goodbye, tank number 2. No tanks left at all here. Immortals trying to snipe down the Widowmine shot. No. Widowmine shot does hit the Immortal, taking it down to about 120 hit points. Not bad, but now outranged. Outranged by the Stalkers. And Widowmine shot does hit, but ends up getting killed there too. Widowmine with no kills. That friendly fire splash damage from the Widowmines was amazing by Bishop. Yes, he lost the Adepts, but I think several tanks there died as well. Let's take a look if we can. I don't know if there's a units lost here to list those. Like, I mean, we get a units lost in resources and how many, but I don't actually see if there's a way to list out what they are, like in my normal observer interface. Servant obs. So hopefully we'll get some replays that are on the current patch, which will allow me to use servant obs. But for now, not the case. Widow Mines here, missile turrets, 3 bases up for both players. Both players at around 110 supply. Both players around 60 harvesters. So pretty darn even game thus far. Looks like I got resources lost. Or okay, we'll do this one instead. Units killed 21 to 9 in favor of Bishop. And actually, there we go. Resources lost 2,900. Resources lost for Womec and only 1,100 lost for Bishop. Bishop handling that, again, extraordinarily well. Robotics Bay coming up, another robotics facility, which tells me disruptors are on the way. It just really does. Hit, bam. Oh, was that a dodge? No, the Stalker did end up dying. Just barely didn't blink out of range in time. The Adepts trying to get up here. They do sneak through. Oh, they sneak through more Widowmine shots on top of these tanks. He's trying to find a good angle in which to go, and Widowmine shots. Oh, killing one of the tanks, weakening another one, but getting all of the Adepts. Not as good, I don't think, as the one that happened down here, but still fairly effective. I mean, I don't know. Adepts cost gas. You don't necessarily want to throw those away, but if you can whittle down that tank count, especially when you have a lot of Stalkers, that is so useful. So useful as Terran. Or as Protoss, rather. Bloop. Colossus actually on the way for Bishop, and a Stargate coming up now. Continuing with the tank production, getting ship plating and Terran vehicle plating is Womec. Tank count is looking all right. We're about 6 right now. 6 tanks. Have lost a few of them thus far in the game with that 3D portrait. One of the best ones, just like with a high collar jacket hanging on out there. What is this? A drop trying to sneak on in here to the natural base, and good reaction time from Bishop. Trying to burrow these Widow Mines in. Oh my goodness, 1 shot, 2 shot. Oh no! Whoa! Bishop throws it out. What amazing Widow Mine hits there. It's now 38 to 66 Harvesters. Bishop trying to go for it, blinking on up here with Stalkers. The tanks raining down fire though. Actually raining up fire up onto the ramp there. Stalkers forced to blink back down. It is now 97 to 146 total supply. Womec looking very strong indeed. Can Bishop break this? Oh man, those Widow Mine drops were absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Waited for the probes to leave. Oh, another hit there. Another attack. Widow Mines coming forward. Offensive Widow Mines. And that's it. The rage quit from Bishop. Bishop is defeated. Womec's victorious, and Bishop has left the game. What an absolutely crazy strategy from Womec, and it worked out today. It absolutely worked out. The Widow Mines, a lot of them died. A lot of Widow Mines were killed, but they took a lot of Protoss units with them. This play I thought was especially interesting. Brought in the drop. I mean, I don't know. Bishop, he couldn't have expected a Widow Mine drop at this point, just because he has a cannon here, and it's really hard to drop Widow Mines here with cannons involved. So you're thinking it's Marines and Marauders, so might as well retreat. So he does retreat, and the medevac follows them out, drops on the ramp exactly where they are. This one gets 12 kills. This one gets only 2? Did this one really get 12 and this one only got 2? I feel like this one got more than that. I thought there were 2 big explosions, but either way, a lot of probes died. Bishop, again, he knew he was down economically. 64 to 44 total workers. It was 3 base to 3 base. The army supply, let's take a look at that one. 93 to 40. Could not break that front wall of the Terran player at all. Recognize the number of tanks here and the number of Widow Mines and just tapped out. So well played by Womec there. Interesting strategy. Again, I hope you enjoyed the game, because that's it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.